There's Elaine Zayak, the 1982 World Ladies Amateur Champion. This is the second phase of the 1983 World Professional Figure Skating Championship for the Avon Cup at the Capitol Center outside Washington, D.C. And taking the ice, JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley. In the technical aspect of this competition, they were rated third of the 3 pairs. This is now the artistic phase, and the emphasis has shifted. The judges, instead of looking primarily at technical aspects of the program, will be looking at primarily the artistic aspects of the program. Choreography, musical interpretation, and the general dramatic unity and concept. Stars were unable to present Sandra and Val Bezic, who were unable to skate due to an injury. Therefore, the average of the scores for the Pro Stars' artistic performances will be awarded to their team. Well, the 25 years that JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley have spent skating together have certainly brought plenty of sophistication and finesse on the ice. And this particular program that they're doing today is a particularly good example of that finesse. Very nice spiral into a back outside death spiral. performance by JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley, 3 times United States pair champions.
JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley.
29.4.
And now for the Pro Stars, who are presently in second place in the pairs competition. Hi Babilonia and Randy Gardner. In the first few seconds of this program, there are quite a number of technical moves. The question here is whether the judges will view this as more of a technical program than an artistic program. Still, it must be remembered that technique without artistry is meaningless, and artistry without technique is not good skating. Very dramatic move, a throw axle. Very nice. Butterflies. A famous move of Ty and Randy's. Well, I'm not sure that that's going to be enough to keep them ahead of JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley. Once again, let's take a look at one of those technical moves, the star lift. Here it is. It's a very nice position, very well done. He's fully stretched, she's fully stretched. Well, we certainly can't fault the technical aspects. Let's see what the judges think.
9.8. 9.9. 9.8. 9.8. 9.9. 9.8. And 9.9.
That's not enough to keep them in the lead. So JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley take the lead in the artistic phase of the competition. And on the ice now for the All-Stars, Ludmila and Oleg Protopopov. In the technical aspect of the competition, they skated a flawless performance, and for the first time in the World Professional Figure Skating Championships, received perfect 10s from all the judges for one performance. What's interesting about the programs of the Protopopovs is that every technical move, no matter how well executed or how difficult, is always incorporated in the program for some artistic reason. Absolutely magnificent. Yet another flawless performance by Ludmila and Oleg Protopopov. And there's the first of 10s.
10, 10.
Once again, the Protopopovs have got 10 straight across the board. And for the first time in this competition, a pair of skaters has received a perfect 100 for two performances, one in technical aspect and the other in the artistic aspect. This is absolutely an incredible moment in the World Professional Figure Skating Championship. And on the ice for the All-Stars is John Carlow. After the technical phase of the competition, he was ranked third in the men's competition.
How can I live through another day watching my dreams frozen forever and my hopes slowly melt away? Once I could see, once I could feel, now I am numb, I've become unreal.
This is the artistic phase of the competition, and the judges have a real challenge here because they have to determine two things. One, how well a skater represents a particular historical era, and secondly, how good a practitioner the skater is of his or her style. And the piston rolls of John Carlow, very famous with the audience. John's an excellent spinner. Watch the speed in the spin. John Carlow, what a personality. Let's take another look at the piston rolls. He gets down on his knees, does 3 turns on 2 feet. Dramatic, exciting. The audience loves him. And the judges gave John marks 9.7, 9.7, 9.8, 9.7, 9.8, 9.8, and 9.8 for a composite score of 48.8. And that's the score that Don Jackson will have to beat to move ahead of John Carlow in the men's competition. And on the ice right now is Don Jackson, the 1962 world champion. Double axel with hands folded. Amazing. This really is a piece of skating history right here. Don Jackson represents a skating style which started around the time of Dick Button in 1952 and culminated in David Jenkins in 1960 and Don Jackson in 1962. Watch this combination, double Lutz, Wally, double Lutz, axel, pop, axel, axel again, and again. This is remarkable. And again. This man is incredible. Last competed in amateur competition over 20 years ago. Don Jackson for the Pro Stars.
9.8. 9.8. 9.9. 9.8. 9.6. 9.7.
The audience gets involved in this judging
and
scheme.
9.8. The total.
Well, that's not enough to put Don Jackson ahead of John Carlow in the individual competition. But at this stage, the All-Stars remain in the lead. And on the ice for the All-Stars is Dianne de Leeuw. Costume on the 1976 Olympic silver medalist. In fact, as I understand it, I believe Dianne designed that costume. And is looking at fashion as a career. Artistic phase of the competition. Dianne de Leeuw, fourth after the technical phase. The ladies' competition is looking for an opportunity to leap ahead of Linda Fratiani, who is just ahead of her. Dianne de Leeuw for the All-Stars.
Dianne de Leeuw.
And Dianne's scores range from 9.6 to 9.8, giving her a total score of 48.2. And on the ice now for the Pro Stars, Janet Lynn. In the technical aspect, with injury, she came through and put herself in first place with a commanding performance. But she's only 1/10 of a point ahead of Dorothy Hamill. Point here is that Janet's moves are so appropriate to the music and to her concept of the program. There's a dramatic unity, a dramatic coherence here that the judges are looking for. And not only that, it's supported by strong technical foundation. Terrific. Janet Lynn for the Pro Stars.
Janet Lynn. .9.
We have never seen.
9.9.
The marks look good.
9.9, and 9.8.
That gives Janet a total score of 49.5. It's not enough to put the Pro Stars ahead of the All Stars. The Pro Stars have 538.9, the All Stars 539.4, but it did diminish the All Stars lead. And on the ice now, Lorna Wighton and John Dowding. And already this looks interesting. Were three-times Canadian ice dance champions, and as amateurs, they introduced a rather interesting concept to the world of dance. That is the single theme free dance. And in a way, this is an extension of that idea. Harkening back to the foundations of Stray Cats with a little real rock and roll. Well, that was a superb example of that kind of style. Lorna Wighton and John Dowding, a terrific performance. That should go a long way to keeping the All-Stars in the lead.
And 9.9.
That gives Lorna Wighton and John Dowding a composite score of 49.5. And on the ice now for the Pro Stars is Krisztina Regoeczy and Andras Sallay. They had an incredible amateur career. They were 9 times Hungarian ice dance champions. Programs. And this is a particularly good example of that. They've always had fun in their programs, and they're going to do so, it looks like, through the entire program on this one. Well, that was a lot of fun. Krisztina Regoeczy and Andras Sallay.
Krisztina Regoeczy and Shelley.
And the marks for Krisztina Regoeczy and Andras Sallay range from 9.8 to 9.9, giving them a composite score of 49.1, behind Lorna Wighton and John Dowding of the All-Stars, who maintained their lead over the Pro Stars. And on the ice now for the All-Stars is Dorothy Hamill.
He bought me the fur coat 5 winters ago, and the gown the following fall. Then the necklace, the bag, the hat, and the shoes. That was late 48, I recall. Then last night in his apartment, he tried to remove them all. And I said, as I ran down the hall, take back your mink, take back your pails. What made you think that I was one of those girls?
After the technical program, Dorothy Hamill trailed Janet Lynn by 1/10 of a point for the ladies' championship in this competition.
But I'm not flat as all that. I thought that each expensive gift you'd arrange was a token of your esteem. Now when I think of what you want in exchange, it all seems a horrible dream. So take back your mink to from whence it came, and tell 'em to Hollanderize it for
Well, this is certainly a cute program. The question really is, do the judges think it's enough to beat Janet Lynn's very sophisticated Zaletic program? Charming performance by Dorothy Hamill, the 1976 Olympic champion. Let's take a look once again at the double toe loop, scratch spin combination, double toe loop, very nicely executed, and right into the scratch spin. Dorothy certainly is an excellent technical skater.
9.9, 9.8, 10.
Thank you.
That gives Dorothy a total score of 49.3, which is not enough to beat Janet Lynn at this stage. And on the ice now is Linda Fratiani for the Pro Stars. 1980 Olympic silver medal. In the ladies' competition, at present, Linda is in third place. She changed her mind at the last minute and does a double toe loop. A skater has a prerogative to change their mind about any particular move, jump, or spin that they wish during their program, and substitute another. No marks can be deducted for this change. Traditionally, Linda has been known to be a better technical skater than artistic skater. But I think in the last year, she has really matured and improved her artistry, her style, her form. Nice performance for Linda Fratiani. Linda's scores range from 9.7 to 9.9, giving her a total score of 48.9. The All-Stars remain in the lead with 638.2, ahead of the Pro Stars, who have 636.8. And on the ice now is Tyler Cranston for the All-Stars. At present, he is in second place in the men's competition. This, of course, is his strong point. He is terrifically innovative, terribly dramatic, and a beautiful triple sow cow. Thaler describes himself as a piece of sculpture, a dynamic piece of sculpture. Although Thaler is certainly not the first to skate the Pagliacci, nor the only person to skate the Pagliacci, certainly this piece of music has become associated with Thaler. And he does a very apt dramatization of the music. Always unique, always different. Tyler Cranston. Let's take a look once again at that broken leg sit spin with the very unusual position that is so characteristic of Tyler Cranston skating. It's unique. certainly an innovative skater.
9.9. 10. 9.9. 9.9. 9.9. 10. And 10.
That gives Tyler Cranston a total score of 49.7.
49.7.
And for the Pro Stars on the ice is Charlie Tickner, who is presently leading the men's competition.
And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll make it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
Lovely tuck accent.
I've lived a life that's full, traveled each and every highway, and more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I guess you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But with it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up, then spit it out. I grew told.
Well, Charlie's style is certainly different from Tyler Cranston's. And yet that's what's so very interesting about this competition, is that these skaters are the best representatives of all the different styles in the world of figure skating.
My share of losing. But now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, no, not me. I did it my way. Oh, why is the man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who lives.
Very nice double axles. So in this case, the judges are faced with deciding who best represents their particular style. It's a difficult decision. That has to be one of Charlie Tickner's best performances in the World Professional Figure Skating Championships. He certainly outdid himself, and I believe he knows it. And there they are.
10. 10. 9.9. 9.9. 10.
Well, that gives Charlie Tickner a total score of 49.9 and makes him the men's champion. Even with that, however, the Pro Stars remain behind with 686.8 And the All-Stars retain their lead with 687.9. And now it comes down to the final program, the group number. And the first group to do their program will be the All-Stars. This program will be judged on both artistic merit and technical merit. The judges are looking for unison, expression, musical expression, ingenuity, technical perfection, a myriad of elements. Remarkable. Here are these great skaters working together on a group number for this competition, and they had only 3 days to put this program together. It's absolutely amazing. The style, the unison in such a short time. That's true talent. Number, the final phase of the competition, which will determine which team wins. At present, the All-Stars are ahead, and you can see their confidence. They're smiling and enjoying themselves, yet concentrating very hard, lest they make a mistake. How important this group number is demonstrated by the difference in the winning team's earnings and the losing team's earnings. The winning team, each member or pair will receive $20,000, and each member or pair of the losing team will receive only $10,000. Death spiral. Well, that's a very good performance by the All-Stars. They're presently in the lead, and they certainly have a good chance of maintaining that lead with a performance like that. I'd say they're pretty happy about it, too. And now on the ice are the Pro Stars to do their group number. They trail by 1.1. Everything rests on this group number. Although Sandra and Val Bezic could not participate as a team due to an injury to Val Bezic, Sandra at least could participate in the group number, partnering with Don Jackson of the Pro Stars. The history of group numbers is actually rather interesting. It all started back in the 19th century when four prima donnas decided to do a pas de quatre on stage. Skating took it up in the early 20th century, started doing 4s, 16s on the ice, and even in competition. And now in a slightly altered form, we see it once again here at the World Professional Figure Skating Championships. Sandra Bezic leading the pack of the pro team. What's interesting about this group number is it incorporates all the elements of skating. Singles moves, pair moves, ice dancing such as this, footwork, edges, positional moves. Everything is incorporated here. And not only that, it all has to be done in unison. Behind those smiles, I see a lot of serious concentration. Pro Stars are trailing, coming down to the final moments of their group number. Well, that's a terrifically good effort by the Pro Stars in their bid for the team championship. Whether or not it's good enough to beat the All-Stars lead is another question. That aside, it's still amazing that in such a short time they can put together such a professional group number. And now, before we find out who wins the team competition, let's see who won the individual events, the best in the ice dance scene, Lorna Wighton and John Dowding. And of course in the pairs with 2 sets of perfect scores, Ludmila and Oleg Protopopov. And the ladies champion, Lynn. And winning the men's competition was Charlie Tickner. And now for the team champion, the All-Stars. And that's a tremendous competition. Last year the Pro Stars won. This year the All-Stars came back to recapture their title. It was a tremendous 1983 World Professional Figure Skating Championship for the Avon Cup. This is John Misha Petkovich from the Capitol Center saying so long until next year.